Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports.
Avery, what's your first bad of week 4?
It is all of the Bills game. It is the first half for the Bills, well, the first 29 minutes and 30 seconds, and then the second half of the Ravens. It was two completely opposite teams for the first half and then the second half. I'm happy that my team came out on top, but they both looked atrocious for the first half, and then the second half, it was just not good on either side.
Yeah, it wasn't what we thought it was going to be as far as like advertise. If there was another game, the Seahawks and the Lions game, where there was like boom, 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 boom. And that's sort of what I maybe not to the extent, because I do like the Bills defense obviously more, but their secondary is very beat up. That's what I thought it was going to be like shot after shot after shot. But it did not disappoint towards the end. What do you think of the decision by Harbaugh to go for it on fourth down instead of take the lead at towards the end of the game there?
Yeah, I was intrigued by it. I thought his comments after the game made sense, that if you decide to kick the field goal there, you're guaranteeing that the team that you're going up against is going to have 4 downs throughout the rest of the field to try and score a touchdown to go up, to try and win the game. So I don't have any negatives. If it were me, I'd want my team to go for the win, or at least to go for the touchdown to make it even more difficult. That's kind of what the Bills did last year in Tennessee on Monday night, is they went for the win instead of kicking a field goal to tie it.
Mm-hmm.
Good teams, they go for the win, and that's what the Ravens tried to do. I can't blame them for that.
Yeah, I guess I would have went for the field goal personally. Like the Bills only scored 20 points. I know a lot of it came in the second half. Most of it came in the second half, but you put pressure on the other team to at least get in field goal range, and I think Josh Allen would have been able to do it. But
I just question the play calling on the 4th and goal and the 3rd and goal. Like, you've got arguably the most dynamic player one-on-one with Lamar Jackson. Like, why wouldn't you give him an opportunity to go make a play and scramble or do a design run? But it doesn't seem like their offense does that, really.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess when I was talking to who did the Jaguars play 2 weeks ago against the Chargers, and they kept getting in like scoring position. I'm like, you got to take the points. You got to take the points. I get that there are times to go for touchdowns, go for a win or whatever. But at the same time, I think it's definitely a momentum killer if you go all the way down the field and you get nothing. So I'm about, obviously situational. And again, it's not like it would have, it just gave them the lead. So I don't know why, like, it wasn't like to tie the game or to win the game. It was either we take the lead or we stay tied. So I would have went with the lead. But yeah, I get where people are coming from for the win, but I don't know. I'm not about that life.
Yeah, and it always seems like it's Harbaugh making those. Is it an analytics decision that the analytics say you should go for it on 4th and goal and try?
Yeah,
and you trust your defense enough to get a stop for the 80 yards that they had to go.
Yeah, I guess and I think that has gone too far. Like, we go too far one way. First, they didn't want to do analytics. Now they're too deep in like teams sometimes. And again, the Bills have been successful. We're successful in moving the ball better in the second half. So what made you think that your defense was going to stop them from getting in field goal range?
Yeah, and especially playing prevent D. I mean, I know you trust your defense and put all of your trust in them, and they've got really good players on their team for defense. But yeah, I don't disagree with what he did. I'd want my team to do the same.
Okay. I see. I'm
trust my team to put the ball in Josh Allen's hands and do a design run, and I expect Josh Allen to beat a linebacker one-on-one to get that extra yard. You would think as a Ravens fan or a Ravens coach, you would expect Lamar Jackson to do the same thing and either out-juke somebody or just beat them to the line and get a yard. Isn't that the Bill Belichick philosophy? If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Like, always keep it in your best player's hands. That's the way I feel, especially any day. Let me go with my bad here. I'm going to go the Lions defense. 48 points to the Seahawks. The first 3 weeks, the Seahawks scored 47 points total.
Ouch.
And so in week one game against the Lions, they scored 48. The defense couldn't get one stop. So as somebody who roots for the Lions, it was a tough watch when you're like, if we could just get one stop, the offense is humming. The Lions right now are the only team, I believe right now, I should double check this, but I'm 90% sure, that is averaging over 30 points a game, and they have 35 right now points per game. And yet they're 1-3.
Yeah, that's rough. To put up 20 points in a game every single week and still lose.
Okay, so the Chiefs are the only other team in the 30s, but they have 32
last night.
Yeah, that so I must have heard that before last night's game. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough right now, and I know the Lions aren't quite there, but it sounds like the defense isn't being as imaginary as it should be. So that's what Dan Campbell said today: is we got to start moving guys around and stuff. So, any other ugly?
Yeah. Well,
Bad. Sorry. Any other bad?
Got two more bad. It's kind of the opposite of what your good was with the Eagles, that they're undefeated. I've got the only completely defeated team, the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of expected it, that they're not very good. We don't trust Davis Mills as a quarterback. Their roster is not talented for the most part, except for Damian Pierce. That guy's a but yeah, they're the only team that doesn't have a win.
Yeah, and I like Brandon Cooks on their team too. It is crazy that they've played every game has been close. Even the Chargers game was pretty close up. I think the Chargers I think they started out beating them big, and then the Texans kind of came back. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. But I don't know. It's you're right. It just stinks at this stage in the game when you're 0-4, 0-3-1, 0-3-1, and that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, the other bad that I have is another stat bomb.
Okay.
This. It has to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you want to take any guesses?
The Steelers are 0-2 for the first time at home in 20 years. I don't know.
I mean, you're close. You started off right. The Steelers are 0-7 when TJ Watt does not play.
Oh, interesting.
Won a game where TJ Watt is inactive.
Yeah.
Is it that front line?
That's crazy. Do you think it's partly because they their defense, especially the last couple of years, has had to be such so good in order to win because the offense is just not moving the ball?
Yeah, probably. But I mean, he is that good defensively.
Yeah, he is.
When you lose your top edge rusher, and he's the only edge rusher they really have, he's the best player on their team, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
On your team, you're not expected to win that many games. But I just thought it was crazy that they haven't won a single game when he's inactive.
Yeah, that is crazy. I also had a bad for the Steelers just not starting Kenny Pickett earlier, just throwing that out there. But we already touched on that. Any other bad? Okay, let's go to the ugly.